Were you a Married with Children fan?
Huge Married with Children fan. Loved, man.
Was it because you enjoyed Christina Applegate? Be truthful.
Kelly Bundy?
Kelly Bundy was on.
Nah, I mean, Al Bundy was the draw for me. Kelly was, that's...
She was definitely the eye candy on the show.
She was.
But she was talented at what she did. I mean, I'm not taking away. I don't want to classify her in that way. I don't want to get canceled.
But
no, but that's
her character. Her character was just too dumb for me.
But she played it well.
She played it really well.
It
was super believable.
Because she's not.
It was super believable.
But she played it really well.
Yeah, and I'm sure she got misjudged because of that character.
Yeah.
A lot.
Bud Bundy, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Bud was.
Remember when he Grandmaster Flash, or was it what was it? It was Grandmaster something.
Kaz, maybe? I don't remember.
No, those are actual rappers. Everything we just said were actual rappers.
Right.
Or was it just Grandmaster B?
Grandmaster B, maybe?
Grandmaster B, yeah. Because Grandmaster Kaz and Grandmaster Flash are real people. So, no, I think it was Grandmaster B. And he turned his hat backwards and he was trying to...
Bud was hilarious.
I used to... Because he used to be down at the... was it the Roxy all the time? I had a few conversations with him. I don't know if he's part... I think he's part owner down there. But he's
really?
Yeah, I used to see him down there. We used to talk to him backstage a bunch of times. He was a cool dude. He was mad cool. He was a big hip hop fan. Loved Tribe. I remember. I think the first time I met him was when I was there with. We was doing a show. It was with Mellow Man Ace, and Tribe was also performing. Well, it was just Five Dog. That was the first time I met Five Dog.
Yeah.
And like I ended up talking to David Faustino, and I was like, but he ended up being a real cool dude.
I mean, he always seemed like a cool dude.
So,
But yeah, love me some Bud. The everybody's favorite shoe salesman,
dude. Like Al. The jokes, like me being a smart ass, the your mama jokes, all that. He'd come in and fat lady came into the shoe store again, and he just riff every episode. It was and then the whole Marcy Darcy chicken.
Why does he keep calling me a chicken?
Right. She put her hands up and started.
And then they switched from Steve to. What was the new guys? Jefferson.
It was Jefferson. Yeah. That was when she became Marcy Darcy because he was Jefferson Darcy and they got married.
What was it before? Do you remember? I forgot what Steve's name was, or was she just Marcy back then? And then they had No Ma'am.
Rhodes. I think it was Rhodes.
Right. Rhodes. That's right.
I'm going through. The hamster was spinning.
That's right.
Yeah, it was Steve Rhodes. It was Steve and Marcy Rhodes.
Then they had No Ma'am.
The No Ma'am group. I actually got a No Ma'am T-shirt.
You got one?
I got a T-shirt. I thought it was hilarious when I saw it.
I had the Polk High T-shirt.
I had the Polk High one too.
4 touchdowns in one game.
Yep. He always had the pose. You remember when he went against Bubba Smith in the hallway?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, man. Those are some good times. You couldn't pull. I mean, maybe I feel like we're starting to lean back into a time where that's kind of more acceptable.
Right.
But,
I mean, you got a show like that would be on Netflix at this point.
Yeah, you couldn't have that on TV.
So
it was wild. All the stuff Al used to say. Yeah. The strip club. Hooters. The station wagon, bro.
I remember and it got brought up, with the whole Caitlyn Jenner thing, but I think there was a whole joke in there about Caitlyn Jenner being a woman.
Back in the day?
Like, yeah, I remember there was a video. I saw a little clip, somebody brought it up, and I was like, we were too young to really get that at that point, but
right.
It was like, oh.
Right. Yeah.
But Married with Children, there's talks of bringing it back, so I'm kind of excited. The OG cast, Katie Seagal. I was about to say Bud Bundy, but Ed O'Neill, David Faustino, and Christina Applegate. They're all. There's plans to have them all voice the characters, but they want to animate. They want to do an animated thing. There's no home for it yet. They're still shopping, and I guess there's a lot of interest.
Yeah. Animated, huh? It makes sense. I feel like that's really the only way.
And the dope part is at that point they can become sort of timeless, right?
Yeah.
So you can have those characters still depicted at that same
take
age,
it back to that time frame.
But it would be maybe modernized, social media, things like that, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool.
Would Al Bundy still be selling shoes?
Yeah, I mean that'd be the whole thing, right? And I guess the person who's writing it is Alex Carter, who's a co-executive producer of Family Guy.
Right.
So he's the one writing the episodes.
Man.
So I feel like it has some traction. It's got some weight behind it, being that original cast. You've got a seasoned animated veteran and the writer who is also would be, I guess he'd probably be Alex Carter would be the executive producer as well.
Yeah.
But you have that seasoned vet. I think it's not going to be hard to find a home. It could land on any platform at this point. I feel like Netflix seems legit, but I can see Hulu. I can see Hulu doing it.
Hulu, Amazon Prime.
So, but
at the bottom, rounding out the list.
But it kind of got me a little bit of hyped because Married with Children was dope. I mean,
that was a show back in the day.
You remember when they went to London and they was trying to like kill them for some curse that was keeping some town dark?
Yeah.
Like the premises was just crazy in the later seasons, but yeah,
Do you remember how many seasons it was on for?
I don't, but I want to say somewhere around 11 to 14, something like that.
Yeah,
something like that. It's got to be around.
And there's been a lot of imitators that have come after that.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't it end with them winning the lottery?
I don't remember.
And then something bad happened that, like, they lost a ticket or something like that. It was something like that.
Couldn't even tell you.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, but I think it was around. I want to say it was probably close to 14 seasons. It was. I don't think it quite got to 15 that I know of.
Right.
But let's live Google it. Let's
about to check right now.
Live on the show. Let's find out. Let's fact check.
Yeah.
To see how many episodes.
That was a great show. I used to love me some Peggy Bundy, like a stay-at-home mom that she didn't cook. She didn't do.
She ate bonbons.
That was it. It was all about the bonbon.
11 seasons.
11.
So
okay.
It was 11. So I was in the right range initially.
It was all about the bonbons.
So yeah, I mean that show was dope, and the crazy part is while it was on, we were pretty young. So I mean, and I think I was at the point watching for the most part reruns.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
and not even getting half the jokes. Got some of it, but there was some of those jokes.
Young.
We was a little bit young. So in rewatching, you start to understand the
innuendos and everything.
The innuendos, the double entendres for this, and But
watching it late at night after 10 p.m. when all the
right.
That's how you know it's time to go to bed. You hear that do 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 do.
Love
time for bed.
Marriage,
oh man,
love and marriage. Yeah, that was
another
theme song that I think everybody just knew the words to.
Right,
like you just knew those words.
Super simple. Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, I'm kind of excited about seeing an animated series come down the pipe at some point.
Yeah, that'll be fire. I'm looking forward to that one. That'll be dope. I'm sure that'll be tapping into childhood memories, the nostalgia of seeing everybody
all
again.
Of it.
Yeah,
all of it.
Hearing those voices again. Yeah.
And I love the fact that they got the same voices. I mean, me being a huge Simpsons fan, and then in turn also loving Futurama. When Futurama first came on, and it was Katie Seagal's voice.
Yeah.
And the character Leela, like, she's a Cyclops or whatever, but she's sort of modeled after that look, that Peggy Bundy look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just made sense. It just worked, right? And then there was an episode where they were on a planet where they had a character that mimicked Al Bundy, and they were sitting on a couch, and
a little throwback.
It was a little nod to the and I was like, that is so dope.
Yeah.
Like, that is so dope. So that's what I immediately thought about when I saw the story about this animated series of Married with Children.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, like that Futurama episode, like, because it's her, so.
I wonder who came up with the idea to do an animated version of the show. Is that something that somebody's had in the back pocket for a while? Is that something that just came up?
Off the cuff, yeah.
Hey, we should do Married with Children again, but let's do it animated.
We got to hit up Alex Carter and find out what's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
that's dope.
Hopefully,
introduce them to a whole new generation of people. I wonder if it's streaming anywhere. If it's on anybody's,
Married with Children?
Yeah,
I'm sure it is.
If it's on anybody's servers.
What app has all the Fox stuff? That'd be Disney Plus, I guess,
maybe.
Because all the Fox stuff for the most part's on there. So
yeah,
but who knows? I mean, but I'm sure it's out there somewhere. Streaming makes me want to kind of go look now.
Right? No, seriously.
Get the throwback cracking.
Go do some binge watching. I'd be down.
What was it? I just remember too. Didn't they have like an adopted son at some point?
The little boy, right?
The boy, right?
Yeah, I don't remember where he came from.
Wasn't he like one of Peggy's like redneck relatives? Like
something. Once he came in, that's when
it was.
Yeah.
We wrapping up this show.
The fact that it made it 11 seasons was,
Yeah.
And I think once you get past 6, stuff starts changing. Because, as the kids age out, you always see it happening. The kids will start off young, and then they get older, and then it's like,
right.
Now we got to bring in new characters, and now there's different timelines and different stories. And
the crazy part was this dude's a shoe store, women's shoe salesman at a mall.
Right.
She don't work. The kids obviously don't do nothing, but they got this house, right?
Right.
This pretty sizable. I mean, they had a pretty good sized living room, kitchen, open concept, and then
bedroom.
They had the 3 bedrooms. They had the basement.
They had the basement.
That was all decked out. They also had the garage that was kind of fixed.
Couldn't afford a decent car though.
But he rode that Dodge. He rode that Dodge till the wheels fell off. But I mean,
on a shoe salesman salary,
how do you afford that, dog?
Yeah.
Like,
hey man.
Because I feel like at that point, even as many years as that dude had been working there, he not making much more than minimum. What was minimum wage at the time that was on? Like $4.50?
Had to be like $4.25, something like that.
So he's making, on a good day, he's making $8 an hour, with his time spent, right?
Yeah, that's back when the American dream was a little more affordable. Just a little bit.
And that was Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with no.
I think so. I think they could have pulled it off.
Even back then, I don't think that's happening.
I think it was feasible back then.
You think so?
Yeah.
What would be the average 3-bedroom, maybe 2-bath house in Chicago
at that time?
At that time versus a minimum wage income.
At best,
a single minimum wage income.
I'm thinking low 6 figures, if not less than that. Because this is, no shade to Chicago, but like this is Chicago we're talking about.
Right.
It ain't like it's California.
Right.
So I feel like, because even now you can find homes in like the 250,000. Well, maybe not that low now, but a couple years ago, I know you could.
But that size,
I know you could find homes around the 250,000 range in that area. So back then, I'm imagining anywhere from 75 to 100, 125 maybe.
Somewhere out there, I'm sure there's a YouTube video where somebody did this math. Because I've seen them do that with other shows. They did it with Friends and a couple other shows. But
can you reach that?